hate speech bill before the Senate. We told you during the front pages that one of the headlines read, the federal government says disowns the Senate on this bill and says, hey, you guys are on your own. Well, some lawmakers are saying, Nigerians, this bill is in your favor. It's actually good for you. We'll look at what this means. This bill, what really does hate speech mean? Is this just a phenomenon unique to Nigeria? Or are there other countries that have such laws? How is it implemented? What could this mean for freedom of expression in Nigeria? You're welcome to the show. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. On Twitter, we're also at Nigeria Info FM. WhatsApp number is 08095975805. You can join us there and leave us your thoughts. I'm Wemimo Adewuni.
I'm Sheriff Quadry. Also, remember that you can watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. You can also do that on Twitter as well, because we're live on those platforms as we speak. You can just search for Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook and YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3, and you'll be able to join us live. Drop your comments there as we go along. We'll be jumping in and out of those platforms to take comments and your questions as regards what we are talking about this morning. And we have joining us on the program this morning, Kolawole Oluwadare. He's in Abuja, that's why he's on the phone. He's from Serap, by the way. Kolawole, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you join us. And now, remember also that we're covering for you the elections that will be happening in Kogi and Bayelsa states. Pre-election fever already happening in those two states. And our correspondents are already on ground. We'll be giving you live feeds from there. From Kogi, we have Judges McNobson and Philip Nwele standing by there. We'll reach out to them shortly to give us an update about what the mood is like in Kogi State today as preparations kickstart for the elections. Now, the Ninth Assembly of the Senate on Tuesday, 12th November, that was 2 days ago, reintroduced the National Commission for the Prohibition of Hate Speeches Establishment, etc., Bill 2019. Seeking to establish a federal government agency that will check hate speech in Nigeria. The bill is sponsored by the Deputy Senate Whip, Sabi Abdullahi, a former Senate spokesperson. It has passed first reading on the floor of the Red Chamber on Tuesday. The hate speech bill, which came just a week after the anti-social media bill, was introduced as the following as part of its functions. Functions include to discourage persons, institutions, political parties, and associates from advocating or promoting discrimination or discriminatory practices through the use of hate speech. Also, it includes to promote respect for religions, cultural, linguistic, and other forms of diversity in a plural society. Also, it aims to investigate complaints of ethnic or racial discriminations. Well, functions 3, 5, and 6 of the bill highlighted, among other functions, that it is targeted to deal with ethnicity biases in the country. Remember that the hate speech bill was first sponsored by the now Deputy Senate Abdullahi when he was a Senate spokesperson at the 8th Assembly between 2015 and 2019. But the bill prescribed, among others, death by hanging for anyone found guilty of the offense. The bill could not survive the second reading then due to overwhelming opposition and criticisms from the civil society groups and the media during the 8th Assembly. Now, in a speech themed hate speeches, fake news, and national unity in 2017, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said the dangers posed by the menace of hate speech, disinformation, and fake news are all capable of destabilizing the system, inciting people to violence, and weakening the people's confidence in their government. Research reveals that hate speeches in Nigeria are mostly credited to political leaders and their ethnic, religious based supporters, and that hate speech has been elevated to the status of political campaign strategy, and it accounts for escalation of pre, during, and post-election violence in Nigeria. So, some European countries have strict hate speech laws, including Canada, and they've had it for quite a while. According to Council on Foreign Relations, trends in hate crimes around the world echoes changes in the political climate. So we'll be looking at this bill. Is it unique to Nigeria? If it isn't, why don't you want it? If we want it, why do we need it? That's a conversation. Okay.
Absolutely. Before we get into that conversation, let's hook up with our correspondent in Kogi. Judges Mark Nobusin joins us right now to give us updates as regards the coming election in that state. Judges, a very lovely morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Judges, tell us what is happening. We're getting news of events and happenings in Kogi State. What can you tell us?
Yes, we got into Kogi yesterday at about 5:30 o'clock, 5:30 p.m., and we were able to squeeze in our accreditation at the NUJ center, and we moved to the INEC office, and we observed that at the INEC office that observers are being given their briefing, their final briefing, and the journalist accreditation as well. But this morning now, we will be going to INEC office as well. In fact, we are at INEC office now, we are waiting for the movement to the CBN, where the sensitive material will be distributed to the local government. So, but on security, we can see that a lot of policemen are on ground, and except for the incident that happened yesterday inside the INEC office, where some policemen were actually shooting into the sky. But before we left, also the first headquarters had to send one of their senior ranking officers to INEC office to apprehend those people that were involved in the shooting sporadically.
We got a clip from you guys in Kogi State about that firing incident. Philip Nweli got this when the senior officer came in to ask for those who were shooting at the INEC office. You listen to this.
Yes.
Hold on, judges. Let me play this insert to you.
You as an inspector, you are the one firing. You can't talk anything. Did you fire or did you not fire? Collect his hand, check his ammunition, count his ammunition. The thing is just easy to unit commander. You brought men here. You allow them to do whatever they like. You are going tomorrow morning, come and I will start with your brain. If you like, don't go and control them there.
All right. He said tomorrow morning you will be served your query. Tomorrow morning is this morning, judges. Is there any follow-up with that incident?
Actually, we have to drop Philip there now. He's at the police force headquarters as we speak now.
Okay.
And why I am at the INEC office, because INEC will be moving to CBN for the sensitive material.
Right.
For onward distribution to local government.
Right.
And the police will be addressing a press conference on the final police briefing and on that incident at 10 o'clock today.
Right.
So we hope to bring you the further reports on that later in the day.
All right.
Thank you very much,
judges.
Now, Philip Nweli, who is standing by at the police center, is joining us live now. Philip, good morning.
Hello, Philip.
Philip, are you there? Okay.
Oh, this line.
We unfortunately can't hear him. Yeah, we might want to try again to reach him. But I mean, that's updates coming in from Kogi elections. Remember, our correspondents are also in Bayelsa. They'll be bringing us updates shortly about the mood in Bayelsa. We already heard that there were shootings and some people
were
died,
killed.
unfortunately.
Right.
Pre-election violence. All right, let's get on with our conversation this morning. Now, it's the hate speech, and our correspondent Good News Ndukwe went out on the streets to ask people what they thought about this bill that's been reintroduced in the Senate, the hate speech bill, which seeks to give the death penalty to offenders who especially caused the death of another person. Well, this is what you all thought.
Sentence, come on. They'll first target it against journalists, then they'll go for people with large social media following online, then they'll go for every other citizen. And that's very, very bad. It's now make Nigeria like a communist country. And remember, Nigeria is not a communist country. We love democracy. And so all of a sudden you just say, okay, you bring out this bill to try and control people's speech. What they should do is go after the social media companies. Tell Facebook to try and regulate hate speech. Facebook should try and verify if that news is real before they allow the thing get posted. Don't try to regulate the people, all right? Regulate the company. That's what US is doing. That's what UK is doing. That's what this European Union are doing. They are taking social media platforms to Congress to go and testify before them and then to address all these issues. It's very, very bad. And I believe it will be a huge disaster for the country. If it's even passed, I would suggest everyone should run away from the country, because in Nigeria they would abuse that power and they will abuse it badly.
Where do they expect us to get 10 million from? Things are not going on. Everybody's broke. Nigeria itself is broke. Can't you say everybody's complaining about the economy? And they were not expecting me to pay 10 million or die in Angie. My family said, where can we get the 10 million from?
This is not the first government, and this won't be the last.
Nigeria is very volatile. You need to think can cause a genocide like Rwanda. So type of hanging is extreme. 10 million is extreme, but we should just try and sanitize each other and know our boundaries.
This speech has been going on for a while. I've been seeing it on social media that governments are working against people, saying all sorts of things against them, against that government basically. I'm not surprised if that is what the government says. This is a country where there is impunity, and impunity has become the order of the day. So if the government says that's what they want to do, well, we are in this country and we know who is winning.
In this Nigeria, it's normal for people to castigate the government. So if they are not trying, they should be ready for bashing from people and put it on their social media page. Social media page is a personal something, like it's free for everybody. Since we have freedom of speech in this country, you can actually say whatever you feel like saying on your social media page. That's where you have your freedom to say whatever you want to say.
But they'll abuse it. Nigeria, they can't actually use that because it will be highly abused.
We have to complain now. Which one is hate speech by hanging? What have they done good for us that we should not be talking? We should keep quiet and be suffering.
People can use that as a tool to just undo people in a very, very unbalanced and wicked way. You can't actually go by what people say and say you want to kill somebody. That's a crime on its own.
Well, that's what Nigerians think about the bill. Someone said,
Interesting thoughts, really. Interesting thoughts. Well, Kolawole is still on the line with us. Kolawole, I would like to know the position of SERAP on this. Let's begin from there. What is the position of SERAP on this proposed bill?
Yeah, this is the position we put out earlier in the week on our social media platform.
Right.
It's not what we need now. It's not what the Senate should discuss. And I must call out, this is a third in a series of anti-freedom of expression bills from this Senate. The NGO bill, the social media bill, and now the hate speech bill. Really, and you have to establish a commission to look into that. No, and you rightly said, hate speech is condemnable. It is not something that should be tolerated. And it's a global phenomenon, by the way.
Right.
It has been taken account by international instruments years back.
Right.
But you would understand the context of Nigeria, our political terrain, and our tolerance for each other. I think the best thing would have been, every time there are issues that affect the common good and we're trying to pass laws, there must be a balance between social civil liberties and the requirements of the law. So most times we have a knee-jerk reaction to issues, and then we end up making laws that become very simple tools to oppress the people. So hate speech bill is not needed right now in Nigeria.
When do we need it, if not now? When do we need it?
Section 26 of the Cyber Crimes Act, it has taken care of this already. And there are, in the criminal code, there in Lagos, there are laws that address hate speech as it is. And then the way the bill is framed, if it ever scales to second reading, creates a lot of problems. How do you draw the nexus between the speech that was, whatever was said, and the death of whoever it has cost? Is there a time frame? How do you link the cost? And so those are the things we must examine when we're going to pass such a bill. And then the penalty, come on. It's killing a mosquito with a sledgehammer.
Someone said that penalties are not necessarily big or small. It's just a way to deter people from committing such crimes. Do you agree with that? I mean, whether it's put at 5 million or 10 million or 20 million, it's just to deter people.
there are several aspects to law. There is a punitive that one that there is deterrence part of lawmaking. It is not just to put an offense and then create punishment that is too big to even implement. Particularly, again, I say in Nigeria, when you look at our history, particularly our tolerance for free speech and any passive criticism, it's too. Look at the Cyber Crimes Act; it has been misused. Look at the Terrorism Act; it has been misused. Then you create another hate speech bill, hate speech, make it a crime. No.
Talking about terrorism, the federal government has been drawing lines against hate speech in the recent years with the claim that silence of leaders in Nigeria will be a great disservice to the country, its peace and its future if hate speech is not tackled. In August 2017, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said, I quote, "It will not be tolerated. It will be taken as an act of terrorism and all the consequences will follow." That's according to a report in the Premium Times 2017. Now, the National Commission for the Prohibition of Hate Speech Bill has reintroduced this bill, seeking to establish this commission to prohibit hate speech. Now, it looks like, this hate speech phrase has been going around for the past, 3-4 years now. It's really been the thing. But if you do a quick search of what hate speech means, a quick meaning you would find is abusive or threatening speech or writing that expresses prejudice against a particular people, especially on the basis of race, religion, or sexual orientation. Do we agree that we do have a challenge of religious bias across the country? Look at the employment structure, federal service structure. Some people would allege that people from a particular part of the country are getting the jobs or getting the top. Do you think this bill will cover all of those aspects?
No, and I think we need to understand that the drafters of the Constitution are presently are aware of all this, and that is why the quota system showing all the ethnic minorities and tribes in Nigeria is put in the Constitution, which is the ground norm of the country. Yes, and I agree that we do have challenges in the way we put out our ideas, particularly pre-election, during elections, and sometimes post-election. But this bill is not a cure for those. We have the National Orientation Agency.
Right.
How empowered are they being to sensitize people to far and wide majority, to make them understand the need to coexist, the need to cure all these social maladies? And I'm not downplaying the possible effect of hate speech and what it can cause.
Right.
But this is just another knee-jerk reaction to solve a problem without really looking at the cause of the problem.
I don't know whether it's a knee-jerk reaction, Kolawole. It's like you said, it's something hate speeches are something we hear every now and again in Nigeria. And Nigeria is a very heterogeneous and polarized country. And you want to say that it's a knee-jerk when we're on the brink, some people would admit, of being in a state of confusion in Nigeria because of the utterances of some people. In this country, we've heard some people giving out ultimatum for a certain group or ethnic group to leave their region. In this country, we've heard also all sorts of things in this country. These are hate speeches, and nothing happened to those people. Now, we're saying that let's have a law that can actually guide us, that can actually protect Nigerians from Nigerians and protect the interests of the country. And you're saying it's a knee-jerk reaction.
Now, going by the way the bill was brought the first time, and why was the bill defeated in the ancient, and why is it brought back now? And what are the contents of the bill? What describes the offense? And I think that's why I talk about knee-jerk reactions. When you look at the way our laws are put out, it's always, we need to address, but we need to look at these laws very well. Address the problem. To address the problem, you must know what the problem is.
Right.
And so when you look at this bill, what is it trying to address? Do we need to really create a commission to do all this? Do we have agencies that can do already existing? I mentioned the National Orientation Agency. How empowered are they to disseminate information? Because it is not just enough to punish. I've educated the people enough about the dangers of hate speech. There is a robust mechanism in place to make them understand, to dissuade them. So instead of just punishing by creating a bill to death by anger, no, I don't think that's the way to go. And again, we must understand the peculiar context of it, including the people who say things that we consider hate speech, and the people who listen to them. We appear to have a low tolerance for criticism. And I think there's a new concept about the right to offend. I think it's foreign to us out there.
Okay.
You hear something you don't like, again you're angry. So even the people receiving what is being said, sometimes perceive something that is not hate speech. They are hate speech. And then it becomes a veritable tool in the hands of whoever is in power. To attack the other person.
The big question is, what is hate speech? And when can somebody say, oh, what you said is hate speech? I'm taking you to court. I mean, what exactly would be in that category? But let's head out for a very quick break. When we come back, we'll be taking you again to Kogi State, where correspondent Philip Nweli, who's the head of news, Abuja Bureau, will be joining us. He's standing by at the police office there as they'll be giving their final briefing towards the election, and also giving us an update about the firing, shooting that happened at INEC office yesterday. We'll be looking up with him just after this break. Kolawole Oluwadare is the Deputy Director, SERAP, is joining us from Abuja. Please hold the line. We'll join you again shortly, just after the break. I'm Wemimo Adewuni.
And I'm Sharif Quadry.
More talk, news and sports after this.
Yeah, welcome back from the break. It's 99.3 Nigeria Info, and we're looking at the proposed hate speech bill, as well as giving you updates from Kogi State in preparation for the elections. Philip Nweli is a bureau chief in Abuja and is right now in Kogi State. Philip, good morning.
Good morning, Wemimo.
Welcome to the show. Where are you standing right now, and what's going on?
I'm presently in front of the Kogi State Police Command headquarters. If you see behind me, you'll see the signboard. And we are waiting for briefing from them this morning. I hear that they will be briefing the journalists by 10 a.m. today.
Is there any indication that the police is gearing up for the elections this weekend?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. There's massive deployments all over. At the INEC office yesterday evening, we were there at about 5 and 6, and they were doing the final deployment, sending them to the stations where they will man the polling units and then other posts. But at the headquarters also yesterday, a DIG came in. The Deputy Inspector General of Police came in to inspect and then know the level of preparation. We tried to speak with him, but he would not grant us interview. He asked us to come back this morning. But certainly there's the massive deployment all over. You could see policemen and military and other. Some of them counter-terrorism units, explosive ordnance departments, and so on and so forth.
In case you're wondering, you can actually go online on our Facebook and YouTube. You can see Philip Nweli, our bureau chief in Abuja, right there in Kogi State, in front of the command headquarters in the state in Lokoja, reporting live on security situation in the state. But Philip, I know you arrived Kogi yesterday. What have you heard? What can you tell us about security situation in Kogi? In Bayelsa, there were shootings yesterday, and some people were fed killed. Any reported incidents since you got there yesterday in Kogi?
Yeah, aside the what happened to the SDP secretariat that was touched some days back, 2-3 days ago, and then the attack or assault on the SDP candidate Natasha Akpoti. People are worried that the way politicians are going about it might scare away voters, because there seems to be some show of force. Even among the security personnel, you could see some, form of zealousness. Some of them are being overzealous. Yesterday at INEC head office, they were firing shots, and some residents I spoke with are worried that it might scare away voters, because if you do this kind of thing, you fire shots always, people might think that it's a war situation, and there's really no need for it. So people are worried about the huge presence of security personnel in the state. Though some have also said that it will help scare away those who intend to, foment trouble.
Updates earlier on this morning about a police boss looking into the shooting that happened at the INEC office yesterday. One of the things he said was, I was going to query the commander there. Is there an update on that?
No, for now, it's still a little bit too early. He asked the officer, somebody, Musa, asked him to report this morning that he's going to get a query for him, because when it happened yesterday was about between 5:30 to 6. As they were deploying them, they were singing, chanting songs. You know how mobile policemen do their thing. So suddenly one of them just cocked a rifle and shot. Everybody was excited. Another person did the same, and we just keep hearing gunshots all over. In the INEC office where we were, people were worried. I was standing with some guys. They said that thing can scare people. Somebody that is hypertensive can just, drop or slump from there. So why would they be shooting, wasting ammunition for no reason? Because government gave it to them, to not mean that they should just be firing shots indiscriminately.
Siren right behind you. Philip, thank you very much for that update. Please stay safe. We'll get back to you for more updates. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Philip Nweli is our Abuja Chief Bureau, and he's standing by there working together with Philip in Kogi State. Our other correspondents are also standing by in Bayelsa State, and maybe before the end of the show or later in the day, you'll also get updates from there as to what is happening. The election is on Saturday, and we're giving you live coverage of the elections in Kogi and Bayelsa State throughout the day on Saturday, throughout the day on Sunday. You can listen to us and also watch us like you just did on Facebook and YouTube. Let's get back to the conversation.
All right. Kolawole is still with us from Abuja. Kolawole is the Deputy Executive Director of SERAB, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project. Kolawole, I remember very well when you started, you mentioned a couple of moves that have been made in the past, recent past, I should add, about would we say freedom of information? You mentioned social media bill, the hate commission, and all of those things, right?
Freedom of expression.
The freedom of expression. So my question is, all of these bills, all of these moves, in your opinion, would you say that they are geared towards curbing or killing, if you like, freedom of expression?
Exactly. That was the point I was trying to make, that it shows a trend. This thing cannot be examined in isolation. So it shows the NGO bill came first, then the social media bill, then the hate speech bill. Who knows what is going to come next? Yes, and really, I would agree that all these issues need to be addressed. Yes, some more important than others. But you need to look at the context, and it shows the growing intolerance for whatever is perceived as critical views. And that is why these bills are coming. And that is why Nigerians need to show interest in the content of these bills to make sure if these bills are going to be passed at all, what is in those bills. Because it's not enough for them. Once they're passed and they become laws, they become applicable to everyone. Who would have thought that when the Cyber Crimes Act was being passed, it's going to be used the way it's being used against journalists and to suppress freedom of expression? Who would have thought the Treason Act would be used the way it's being used presently? And that is why we need to show interest and to make sure that if a law is going to be passed, is it necessary? Is it required? Does it address the situation? And like I've mentioned, the hate speech bill, there are laws that address this already. There are agencies that can tackle this. Have those approaches been exhausted? Have they failed or not? Should we even try all that before making a law? And it's the political factor the most we should look at, or the deterrent factor, or trying to educate people.
Right. Now, the proposed Independent National Commission for the Prohibition of Hate Speech would have the capacity to sue and be sued, to purchase, to acquire, to hold, charge, dispose movable and immovable property. The corporate body will be made capable of borrowing or lending money, as well as doing or performing all other things or acts for the furtherance of the provision of this bill. What does this mean? They'll be able to borrow and lend money. Really?
What it means is it's just a normal thing that comes when you establish a commission. Again, which is why we should examine. Does the need require this so much investment financially? It means it's going to have its own life. It's commonly called in law a personality, a legal personality. So it's going to be a whole commission with directors, staff, officials, people, and then that is again millions, if not billions, of naira. So the question I've asked again is, what is the function of the National Orientation Agency to educate Nigerians first? You don't beat a child before you explain to him, you should do this, you shouldn't do this. After you tried over the years, then you can do the law.
One of the things this agency is also meant to do is to educate and promote. And like you said, what is the role of the National Orientation Agency? But let's look at other countries. Research shows us that in countries like the United Kingdom, in places like the United Kingdom, laws related to hate speech are just being enacted or relatively new. But in countries like Poland, Germany, Austria, Hungary, they passed the hate legislation decades ago and even had mechanisms in place before that legislation. A 2013 report shows that some European countries restrict hate speech, but the United States does not. But the US has its own way of dealing with hate speech issues. Some other foreign countries also have similar prohibitions on hate speech. For instance, French laws allow for the prosecution of quote-unquote public insults based on religion, race, ethnicity, or national origin. Canada and Mexico have laws prohibiting hate speech against targeted, identified groups. Most of them are far more intrusive in criminalizing the content of speech and expression than that of the United States. So I think we all agree that there is a need to watch hate speech, especially when targeted at a particular ethnic group. Since there is this dire need, and we can see the government really wants to do this, what do you propose that the government should do instead?
I would propose that instead of establishing a commission and passing a law, we should look at existing frameworks that we have and then the agencies that we have and empower them actively to do the work. And then if you look at these countries you've mentioned, it has a historical context. In Europe, Germany has history of this, and so they have addressed those problems then. But because social media has made this thing so serious now and it reaches our wide. So what we need to look at is we have existing agencies. Have they been empowered to work? How much work have they done? The police are empowered to enforce any law. Are there laws in place already that address hate speech? I've mentioned Section 26 of the Cyber Crimes Act. How has it been used? Have people been educated enough? So I believe the way to go is to look inwards Empower agencies have been created already to do the work, and there is no need now for a bill to establish particularly a commission, which is going to go up more millions of naira.
And it's an independent one at that. That means it will function on its own. Now, let's summarize what this bill again does for you before we head to the phones. This bill proposes, let's break down about 7 functions to you. Number 1 is to promote a harmonious, peaceful coexistence within the people of all ethnic groups indigenous to Nigeria. Number 2, without prejudice, promote the elimination of all forms of hate speech against any persons or ethnic groups indigenous to Nigeria. Function 4 under this states that it also aims to encourage full participation by all ethnic communities in social, economic, cultural, and political life of other communities. The function 6 under this bill aims to investigate complaints of ethnic or racial discrimination. The function 7 here makes recommendations. They should be able to make recommendations to the government on any issue relating to ethnic affairs, including whether ethnic relations are improving. So, guys, what do you make of this bill? Comments are already pouring in on Facebook. You can also join us on WhatsApp 08095975805, 08095975805. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM. If you want to join us on Facebook, we are streaming live. You can watch us right now, Facebook, YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. We'll take your calls. Let's give you the numbers.
Call us on 0127709993, 0127719993, 0127729993, and 0127739993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
This is Nigeria Info. We are listening. Again, the WhatsApp number is 08095975805, 08095975805. Let's take some comments from Facebook. Bojikwe Ugochukwu says, I think this country is a big joke. With so many issues we have in this country, the Senate cannot pass good laws to stop kidnappings, terrorism, human killings for ritual purpose, armed robbery. I think we already have laws that deal with this. He's saying, though, that is the law against hate speech that proposes death penalty they're passing, but arrested Boko Haram members are trained and reintegrated back into society. Well.
Yeah. Let's get on with some calls right now. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
That's 993.
Yeah, this is Nigeria Info. Welcome to the show. What's your name?
Okay, NDBC.
All right. NDBC, welcome. Go ahead.
Okay. I think we are going back. Sorry to say, this same kind of law was the kind of law that was passed. It was a decree, rather, in 1984. Decree 4 and Decree 2. Those laws were actually very, very draconian. And I think they are now trying to use the legislators to make it look as if it is a law that is all about for the interest of the people.
Right.
But I want to say here that Nigeria should find a way, the government and the people there should find a way to make Nigeria move to the next level. We are talking about information. This is an information age. They should not be taking us back. They should rather be taking us forward. And that is my suggestion.
Around the BC, thank you for calling. Ade is here. Ade, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This hate speech law, to me, and my own opinion, it is for just some people to feel or to think that they own Nigeria. Because if you look at the sponsor of this bill and their side, some people have made some comments quite long ago about this Nigeria. No Ruga, no peace, no this, no this. What happened to those people?
So the point Ade is that maybe this kind of law will now stop anybody, regardless of where you are, from making such comments.
My brother, let me tell you, this law will not stop it. It will not stop them because they have been saying all these things for long and nothing happened. If they bring this bill, you will see that this thing will still continue and nothing will happen to them.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you too for calling. Apparently, there is a whole lot of distrust as to the intent of this particular proposed bill. He's not a lawyer. Let's not get it mixed up. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Charles. I'm calling from Blakey.
Good to have you, Charles. Go on ahead.
Okay, well, I think this is a law for the people in government, nothing more, to protect themselves so that nobody can criticize them. And what will happen is that they will take some poor people as scapegoats when the thing is done, and they will not be killing the poor. There will be law just for the poor, and just to protect whoever is in government. That's the way I see it, nothing more. Because we have been on this side, the laws that are even good for the society, they do not implement. The ones that are good for themselves, those are the ones they will implement. Those are the ones they will. Why don't you have death penalty for corruption? Why can't National Assembly put in death penalty for corruption? They will be the first set of people to face the guillotine. Thank you.
Charles, thank you very much for calling. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Okay.
Right. Let's take some comment from Facebook. Femi Taiwo says, what is the penalty for rape, election malpractice, political stealing, cornering money meant for projects? Says this one is absolute nonsense. Elijah Peter says the sponsor of this bill have some things to cover up and he wants the law to protect him. It says the bill is evil, the intent of the bill is evil, and it's meant to silence the masses. Well, if you look at the breakdown that we've given you, that's not what they claim the bill is meant for. But the question is, don't we have existing agencies that can take care of some aspects of this bill?
We have Chris joining us. Hello, Chris. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Chris on the line.
Welcome, Chris. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Wemimo. Yeah, I want to quickly contribute on this issue of death penalty.
Yes, please go ahead.
You see, what I see precisely on the issue is that it's like this present government that don't want to accept criticism. And if you don't accept criticism, then how do you want to change? You see, this death penalty they are bringing is for the ordinary people. What is hate speech? And what is freedom of speech? Is it that when they bring this kind of hate speech, I tell you, in a couple of years, Nigeria will become graveyard as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyways, let's talk to Okafo from Mile 2. Okafo, good morning to you. Hello, Okafo.
Hello, Okafo, are you there? Okay, you might want to try reaching us again, maybe on another of the numbers. Let's see what we have on Twitter. Oh, goodness. I need a minute to try to get this together. Okay? Give me a minute.
Okay. So someone is talking to me here on Facebook, and I am just smiling. The person said I should stop playing devil's advocate on this matter, and he believes that I know the truth. Okay, let's quickly talk to Nelson from Ikorodu. Nelson, good morning to you. Hello, Nelson. Nelson, we can't hear you. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Nobody there.
Okay.
Let's take some comment from Twitter. Ready now. Joy Forever here says, in insane environments like Canada, the law is effective, but here to be used to victimize people because we are under impunity. If we keep quiet, very soon there will be a law forbidding us to worship freely. Says the federal government needs national orientation. Oh, wow. Laube says, will a factual statement about the Nigerian government be regarded as hate speech? That's a big question there. Will a factual statement by the Nigerian government be regarded as hate speech? Murtaza Miki Yusuf on Twitter says, hate speech is vague. It also sounds like a potential way for the authority at all levels in Nigeria to put a label on opposition and critics of public officials and politicians. In a multicultural state like Nigeria, the hate speech bill is dangerous.
Sundays in Ikeja is calling us there. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning this morning.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, the Senate, they were saying that they are trying to pass a bill concerning hate speech. I think at this stage we know that Nigeria, what happened in this case is because the foundation that has been laid. And when a good foundation has been laid, things like this shouldn't have come up in the first place. But it's unfortunate that Nigeria, from the origin, has laid a bad foundation, and the citizens cannot just keep silent when
Sunday.
Are not okay. They have to express their mind. So you don't pass a bill that will only favor your own side and put the citizens in a serious drama. And you are telling us that you are passing a bill for a death sentence. Then what about the person who is raping and the person that is killing, the Boko Haram and other people? How many which death sentence have you placed on them? And how many bills have you passed against those people to fight against crime? And you are passing a bill against the citizen that you are leading in a country. Then if you have started killing them, then who are you going to lead in this country?
Right.
So I think I will urge the Senate, as this opportunity has been given to me, that they should kindly revert the bill, because this is what Wole Soyinka said, and they should revert it. They should take it back.
All right.
It doesn't favor us.
All right,
and
Sunday.
it will never favor us.
All right.
Thank you.
Olaniwaju is in Apapa. Let's quickly speak to him before we go back to Kolawole. Hello, good morning, Olaniwaju. Olaniwaju, good morning to you. Oh, we can't hear Olaniwaju. Apologies for that. Kolawole, we need to begin to wrap up on the program right now. And I have something on my mind as to what kind of Senate is a night Senate? Would you say they are listening Senate? Would you want them? You're chuckling.
Even I have a smile on my face.
I mean, I'm just wondering. Can you help me out?
I think it's too early to say that now.
Right.
But we've seen 3 anti-freedom of expression bills so far in the space of less than a year. I think that speaks for itself.
All right then. Let's speak with this caller. Hello, good morning to you. Hello. Oh, there's something wrong with this particular line. Apologies. You can call the other lines. That's 012770993, 012771993, 012772993. Samuel from Yaba is here with us. Samuel, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Samuel.
All right. They're comparing Nigeria to Mexico and Canada. I think that comparison is we can't compare Nigeria to those countries. The level of development in those countries can never ever compare them. So in Nigeria, we still have a lot of issues to complain about. Do you understand? So there's no way we keep quiet here in Nigeria. And I'm sure these people are planning to use our speeches, our comments, against us, because they don't really want any criticism. So that bill cannot stand. It can't stand. We need to rise against it. Thank you.
All right, then.
Let's be careful not to mix up this bill with the anti-social media bill.
Right.
But do you agree at all that there is a need to watch ethnic biases and hate speech against ethnic groups? Remember during the general elections, I mean, we were here covering the elections, and there were allegations of some ethnic groups saying, some people are against us. So do you think there's a need to watch that? How else could we do it without this bill?
Indeed. We have Shegun from Oregon joining us. Shegun, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. That sounds like Sandra.
Oh, my name is Wemimo. Wemimo is always here in the morning. Sandra in the afternoon.
Yes, I know, but you were sounding like Sandra for some reason.
Oh, I see.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so I've been listening to the comments from everybody, and I'm a bit worried that we seem to be wanting to throw the baby away just because the bathwater is a bit dirty. The hate speech commission thing, setting up a commission is ridiculous. I mean, it's nonsensical. I don't understand what a commission will do. That the current law enforcement infrastructure we have cannot handle. You don't need a specialized commission for this. However, that is not to say that hate speech is not a problem that needs to be addressed.
Right.
So I mean, again, the death sentence penalty, I was shocked to hear that. I didn't know that such a provision was in that law. That, again, is ridiculous. You can't kill me because I'm saying something that doesn't sound good or that could even incite violence. You can't kill me for that, but the hate speech is a problem in this country and needs to be addressed. I think you either share it, I'm not sure who, somebody said earlier that national orientation agency, what exactly are they doing? What we need to do about hate speech is to push it out to the national narrative and ensure that everybody understands the damage that is caused when you tag people and profile people and use expressions like Fulani herdsmen or Yahoo Igbo boys and all those types of things.
Right.
So that fact we cannot evade, and people must understand this. So we shouldn't just throw this away and say it's because politicians want to protect themselves, they don't want criticism or opposition. That will be reacting the wrong way to a very, very potent and dangerous problem.
Thank you very much. I can't but agree with you. There's a need to deal with this, but with education, that would be a better way. Can we take a final call?
Yes, AJ is calling us from Lagos Ibadan Expressway. AJ, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
And others and Wemimo.
Good morning, AJ.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question with respect to this hate speech. How about the laws that have to do with slander, defamation of character,
libel?
So you see, when people are raising eyebrows, it's not the weather because this government has been coming. Take for instance, they started with open grazing, people shouted. They went to Ruga, people shouted. So people are shouting because they are not really sure of what this government can do. That they have so many things hidden that they can't understand. If truly they are coming in very, of course, people will say that, but I want to believe, like I asked before, those questions I asked, try to compare with the hate speech. Is there anything other than that? There could be something on that we don't know.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, AJ. We need to wrap it up now. Thank you all for joining us, and we sincerely apologize. I'm sure we have loads of comments on WhatsApp. Please bear with us that we couldn't read your messages today. A bit of technical hitch with that. Please do bear with us. Remember that we're giving you the live coverage of the governorship election going on in Kogi and Bayelsa State on Saturday. We already have updates going on from today, like you heard on the show. Throughout the day, our correspondents are standing by in Kogi and Bayelsa, and we'll bring those updates to you. We thank very much Kolawole Oluwadare, Deputy Director, SERAP, for joining us on the show today. Kolawole, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nigeria, thank you also. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. It's going to be a long week for us. I mean, no, we can't, because we're going to be here with you all the days of the week. Gosh.
Till Sunday.
Till Sunday. All right, people. It was nice doing this with you. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more. We thank Zainab Yakin, Tosin Akinrede, Yvonne Kaffor, also Philip Nweli and Georges McNobson standing by in Kogi State. Babatunde Abdusalami, good news, yes, Ndukwe, who brought us that Vox Pop. Thank you all. We'll be back tomorrow. I am Wemimo Adewuni.
I am Sheriff Quadry. You have a fantastic day. Bye for now.